Perfect 10 for England, with Harry Kane moving alongside Gary Lineker in third on England's all-time top goal scorer list now with 48. Speaking to talkSPORT after the game, the England skipper said he's pleased to go one step closer to becoming England's all-time greatest goal scorer.
To be up there with the names that you're up there with is fantastic, and every time I wear an England shirt I'm proud. Every time I score, it's one of the greatest feelings in my career. So I hope I can keep doing it for many more years. Obviously we've got a big year ahead now leading up to Qatar. So yeah, anytime I can help the team, I'll try and do so. So it's nice. It's been a great camp. Nice to get the feeling of putting the ball in the back of the net. Any striker wants to be doing that. So yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yes, so he's 6 now off achieving the feat of becoming England's all-time record goal scorer. We're talking about it earlier on with Adrian Durham, actually, Darren, and I was sort of saying, well, you expect him to do that next year.
Yeah, easy.
But actually, Adrian raised the interesting point about, and I was sort of alluding to it, but didn't quite get to the question of, is Harry Kane actually the best England striker ever now? Regardless of the fact he has not broken the record.
If it's, in terms of all-round, I'm still going to go probably Rooney. It's probably, I mean, listen, I didn't see Bobby Charlton, so I can't obviously talk about his performance, but obviously you watched the videos in terms of how great he was. Of course, Gary Lineker, goal scorer. But if you talk about all-round, I'd probably still go Rooney. I think Rooney had the lot as well, and there were times he played wide, he dropped a bit deeper. I mean, he had the whole package, but listen, of course, Harry Kane is going to break this record relatively easy. He might even hit something like 70 if he continues at the rate that he's going. But I mean, it's hard to say that he's the best now, right this minute. I mean, obviously there's Jimmy Greaves as well. People are going to talk about him and in the era that he did it in terms of the conditions, the pitches and things like that. But if you're asking me, I'd probably say Rooney right now.
Interestingly, Ali, what you weren't privy to was while the news and sport was ongoing, I went in and was chatting in the little gallery area, shall we say.
Yes.
And there's Darren sort of making out like, oh, I could have scored so many goals against San Marino. I could have scored so many goals against Andorra.
He's got a point. However, you can only score against the opposition in front of you. And we were talking with Charlie Austin was on Bent, and he was saying it was actually, you couldn't have picked two better internationals for Harry Kane at this particular time.
Yeah.
Taking into his account, Bent, his club form and his goal scoring with his club, they were perfect games for him. They really were.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about, 7 goals in 2 games. I mean, that is absolutely outstanding, of course. And listen, I agree with you, Ali, in terms of you can only score against what's in front of you. And I'd rather him go and do that and put them to the sword and then let people ask the questions afterwards in terms of, oh, it was only this team, it was only that team. And then, do you know what I mean, ask the questions afterwards. But if he hadn't scored, can you imagine?
Exactly.
The stick that he'd be getting.
Exactly.
But that's the problem in general, though. This 10-0 win that England achieved yesterday, you've got people now saying, oh, come on, it was San Marino. They were down to 10 men, sort of basically saying, stop hyping up England's performance. But if they hadn't put 10 past them, we'd now also be talking about, it's San Marino, why have you not emphatically beaten them? You can't win.
That's the national team, you can't win. But as I said, 10-0 is for an international match, is ridiculous. Like 10-0 is just, I thought them days were kind of behind us, but obviously clearly they're not. But listen, England, I thought there were some really good performances in there. I guess where these games are handy in terms of is you can give people their debuts, and because there's no really repercussions, because there was no chance whatsoever that San Marino are going to beat our second team, third team, fourth team, in fact. So you see the likes of Conor Gallagher getting his opportunity. You see Jude Bellingham again coming in yesterday. So I think them type of games are good for that type of development.
Well, you look at the reverse fixture at Wembley. Ollie Watkins scored his first England goal.
Exactly.
And you can't take that away from him. He'll always cherish his first England goal, for example.
Exactly. So I think that's where them kind of qualifiers are good, but I still think in terms of qualifying for major tournaments, there's got to be something done in terms of a tier system. Like the Nations League, they did it and it works really well. There's got to be something similar for that World Cup qualification and stuff.
And that's the conversation we've been having this morning, Ali, isn't it? About whether or not you do need a pre-qualifying campaign. I think
something's probably got to be done. You look at San Marino and Liechtenstein and Andorra and teams like that.
At Gibraltar, teams like
that. Yeah. I think the big thing, Benty, as well, is they're not improving. If they were getting better, then you could probably understand it a little bit. But they don't seem to be improving at all.
No. So. Also, as well, I think... Like I know, listen, every country out there deserves an opportunity to represent their country and try and qualify for a major tournament. But right there, they've got no chance, like at all, because they're getting obviously put in with some of these power nations, and they've got absolutely no chance. At least if there maybe is a pre-qualifying, it gives them get a little bit chance to get a bit of confidence maybe before they try and qualify. But at the minute, I mean,
Well, it's funny. I'm just saying, Natalie. I mean, I knew the record was poor. In fact, I knew it was shocking, but I actually didn't know it was just this bad.
Go on.
So San Marino played 184, won 1 against Liechtenstein. They must be poor, by the way. Lost 176. They've scored 26, and wait for it, they've conceded 772.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh,
there you have it.
That's not pleasant.
No, it's
really.
not.